NGOs began installations at the esplanade of the multipurpose sports complex for visitors. Our reporter Cynthia Saptala was there for the start of the week-long activities and says there are a couple of innovations this year.
The Sago Fair comes again this 2021 with its own peculiarities, with this year's edition focusing on the national development strategy for the next 10 years and what prospects for Cameroon, development partners and administrations will be communicating on their role.
It is the first time we will be focusing on a theme that involves all sectors of activity. Sago this year will focus on communicating on these documents so that the public can contribute through concrete actions in its realization.
For the first time, in the over 300 exhibitions expected, the private sector will be strongly involved, explaining the part it intends to play in the implementation of this strategy. So too will Made in Cameroon products be showcased. Other innovations is the creation of an exchange hub online where questions from Cameroonians worldwide will be addressed directly by government officials. The communication platform, officially launched on Monday the 26th, will facilitate access to information on national public policies, and it will hold throughout the week in strict compliance with COVID-19 barrier measures.
Government has been using the Sago Fair for the past 10 years, advancing its drive towards upgrading public services. The forum has been witnessing an increased participation of both partners and visitors that are appreciating the move by government. In the following report, Ewan Epole presents a balance sheet of Sago's activities.
The Fair on Government Action, dubbed Sago, is organized yearly to showcase government activities in different sectors. It is a communication platform that has been facilitating access to information by popularizing national public policies for the past 10 years. Sago has so far recorded a success story.
Since 10 years, Sago began with 10 or 20 stands, but today we have a lot of stands. That is the proof that Sago is a great event for government, for institution, for people.
What we call budget program. The Douala City Council was the first council to put it into act. By coming in Sago, it have allowed other community to use it. When you have to make the analysis, you see that many people have used to come in Sago because it's a place to be. You have many opportunities to be seen and to share more and more experiences.
City dwellers are still to start visiting the Sago exhibition stands at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex, as the official opening ceremony has been scheduled this Monday, July 26, 2021. Unlike previous editions, Sago this year is holding amidst the COVID-19 pandemic.
A laudable initiative there by this government. And we move up north, where the Minister of Housing and Urban Development has reiterated President Paul Biya's engagement to fast-track projects geared towards improving the living conditions of the population of Mayo-Sava Division. Minister Celestine Kecha-Cortez was speaking in Mora during a visit to some projects underway in the locality, including bridges, culverts and roads. Sylvester Atemkeng reports from Marwa.
The series of projects ongoing in Mora, chief town of Mayo-Sava Division, are in line with the vision to improve urban mobility and facilitate drainage. During her inspection tour to Mora, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development met with various stakeholders involved in the construction work financed by her ministry and other sectoral partners.
My presence here is a proof that the head of state do not leave anyone behind. Many projects are made here in Mora, and many others are on the way. The
minister also visited the site where work is ongoing to open up drainage channels in the town of Mora and its surroundings and the construction of roads.
The message is to take care of all this investment. That is the key. The population should be part of the management of their city. That means they should keep their city clean, for their help.
The member of government ended her stopover with a visit to the Sultan of Wandala, His Royal Highness May Muhammad Brahim Alaji, where she had a cordial exchange with the Sultan and the minister delegates at the presidency in charge of public contracts, Ibrahim Saba Mala, the governor of the Far North region, Mijie Awa Bakari, and other personalities.
We now bring you this press release from the Ministry of Defense, which reads, the Ministry of Defense hereby informs that in the morning of Saturday, 24th July 2021 at about 4 a.m., a horde of Boko Haram terrorists, heavily armed and aboard several light tactical vehicles, attacked the outpost of the military operation Emergence Card, situated in the locality of Sagmi, in the Fotokol subdivision, Logon and Shari division, Far North region. After serious fighting, the insurgents retreated, apparently in the direction of the locality of Wulgo, Borno State, in the northeast of Nigeria. The provisional results of this gruesome raid are as follows. Cameroonian Defense Forces, 8 soldiers killed and 13 wounded, evacuated to the Marwa military hospital for appropriate medical care. Boko Haram, several assailants neutralized and their bodies carted away as the terrorists retreated, as is their custom in such circumstances. The minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense conveys to the families of the fallen soldiers the heartfelt condolences of the head of state, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, as well as his wishes for a speedy recovery to the wounded. The troops remain in high alert across the Far North region and beyond the borders in order to prevent possible new assaults by the terrorist Hydra Boko Haram, whose manifestations are recurrent. And this is signed Navy Captain Atonfak Gemo Cyril, Head of Communication Division in the Ministry of Defense. Today, July 25, 2021, is being commemorated as the International and African Seas and Oceans Day on the theme Oceans, Life and Livelihood. The Ministry of the Environment, Nature Protection and Sustainable Development has been organizing roundtable discussions through video conference to articulate the place seas and oceans occupy in the world and the impact they have on human activities. As Gerald Nanji Eyambe reports, today's occasion is jointly celebrated alongside the 40th anniversary of the Abidjan Convention on the Protection of Maritime Environment and Coastal Zones of the regions of West and Central Africa.
This year's International and African Seas and Ocean Days, celebrated alongside the 40th anniversary of the Abidjan Convention, focuses on the role of oceans and seas. Observed on the theme, Ocean, Life and Livelihood, it goes to buttress the place that oceans occupy, not only in the ecosystem, but also the impacts they have on human activities.
Ocean and the maritime resources provide us a lot of food like fish and so on around the world. We have about 90 billion tons of fish.
Roundtable discussions, which were taking place through a video conference, articulated the need for the sustainable management of oceans and other marine resources.
Government have been working in order to plant mangrove, in order to fight against overfishing, to fight against pollution of the sea.
Discussions also centered on Cameroonian port facilities, conservation and sustainable use of marine species and ecosystems.
In continuation of our series on making cocoa production in Cameroon sustainable and competitive, tonight we take a look at the expectations and challenges of producers. While acknowledging that granting premiums is a good idea, cocoa growers nevertheless insist that a number of tools must be put in place to make their activities more profitable. Amongst them are the availability of inputs and training. Clarisse Aretakang reports.
From Biakwa, Makenene and Bachenga to Tonga, Ebolova and Boya, the reward for a quality output during the 2017-2018 cocoa season was regarded as acknowledgement for the result of hard labor on the one hand. On the other, it came as a reminder that to whom something is given, something is expected. In this case, bigger yields.
It encourages us, the farmers, because when you are remembered, you will do your best. I just realized it's good to plant cocoa and to sell cocoa. So that's why it's important to receive money from cocoa. You're receiving money from the labor you've made.
There are, however, challenges to address, with growers insisting that their work would be better with the right tools in hand.
We need seedlings that they are really humiliated by the government. They are not educated in the right way.
Attaining the 600,000-ton cocoa objective is still far from being fact for Cameroon. It will therefore require that those without whom this goal cannot be achieved receive the appropriate seeds to plant their way to the top.
The occurrence of road accidents in Cameroon has become rampant of recent. Hundreds have died and many injured following vehicle crashes on the major highways in the country. Iwane Epole recounts the number of road accidents recorded recently in this report.
A number of road accidents recorded lately in Cameroon have claimed many lives. Recently, over 53 people were killed and many others injured as a passenger bus collided with an oil tanker in the West region, precisely in Chang, in the Menua division. 2 road accidents that occurred in the West and South regions left nearly 40 persons dead and about 20 injured. On the Nemale Bridge near the town of Makenene in the Center region, an accident claimed at least 37 lives. Meanwhile, 3 others were killed in a separate accident on the Mengong-Samlema highway. Last week, 3 persons lost their lives in a car accident at Nkolesong, some 28 kilometers on the road from Yaoundé to Ayos. The accident occurred on Saturday, July 17, 2021, as participants of the holiday camp organized in Melong in the littoral were returning to their respective regions. According to officials of the Ministry of Transport, the main causes of these fatal crashes are mechanical failures, 2/3 being tire problems, hazardous overtaking, excessive speed, drunken driving, and avoiding the wearing of safety belts, as well as bad roads full of potholes. The burden of road traffic injuries on heavy traffic highways in Cameroon calls for urgent interventions.
Violating the highway code results in sanctions aimed at reducing the risk of accidents. This message is echoed to road users on the National Road Number 3 linking Yaoundé and Douala. The Road Safety Task Force, during their routine controls, laid emphasis on the state of vehicles and the respect of speed limits, especially as the number of travelers have increased during this holiday period. Elvis Teke followed the accident prevention units at work and now reports.
Overtaking at the wrong place puts the life of the driver and that of passengers on board his vehicle at risk. This violation of the highway code that is considered one of the main causes of road accidents on the Yaoundé-Douala highway has dragged several commuters to pay penalties. The Road Safety Task Force has also recorded several vehicles overspeeding. They too have paid the 25,000 penalty for the offense.
When a vehicle comes, viewing also the information that we have, we stop the vehicle and we invite the driver to go and pay the amount concerned.
Besides ensuring that vehicles respect the highway code, the state of the automobiles are also verified and such operations carried out on some vehicles as part of security measures.
In this period, we try to explain to all that it's important for them to have all the documents required for their vehicles.
The officers also educate road users on the importance of respecting the COVID-19 prevention measures while traveling.
Road accidents are recurrent and constitute one of the main causes of death and hospitalization in Cameroon. An average of 16,000 accidents are reported yearly, with about 1,000 deaths according to 2019 statistics. The situation is, however, improving with the road safety campaign of the National Gendarmerie and the safeguarding of the procedure to obtain driving licenses. In the following report, Elvis Teke outlines government's strategy to reduce highway accidents.
Overspeeding, avoiding seat belts, Poor mastery and overtaking in the wrong manner are among the principal causes of road accidents on Cameroon's major highways. In the bid to check the wrongs, accident prevention is government's priority. The Control, Surveillance and Repression Accident Prevention Campaign of the National Gendarmerie has installed Speed Detection Unit on the Yaoundé-Bafoussam, Douala-Yaoundé highways, once referred to as the Triangle of Death, to track down violators. At the administrative level, the Ministry of Transport has tightened procedures for obtaining the driver's licenses, ensuring that all potential drivers go through a driving school. Road infrastructure has also been given a qualitative leap with the renovation and rehabilitation of major highways. Vertical and horizontal road signs have also been made more visible. Points for long-distance drivers to rest in the middle of their journey has also been created and roadsides cleared to increase visibility.
And you are watching news on CRTV. Daughters of Bui Division in the Northwest region under the banner of the Nsobati Women's Association have been making a balance sheet of their activities 25 years after. Meeting in Yaoundé this Sunday during the association's Silver Jubilee celebration under the theme "Together we do great things and even small things in a great way," members drawn from the 14 branches across Yaoundé and beyond used the occasion to exhibit their traditional dances and dishes from Nsoland. Gerald Nanji Eyambe now reports on the major achievements, challenges and prospects of that association.
25 years down the lane, the Nsobati Women's Association has stood the test of time. Coming from its 14 branches around Yaoundé and beyond, the dynamic Nso women can count their achievements.
We have our financial schemes, various financial schemes that empower the women on leadership and entrepreneurship. You see, Nsobati women are those who initiated the first fundraising in 1998 to buy the piece of land that where you have the Nganso today. We also assisted in the construction of the Simbo Catholic Church.
With their activities stifled back at home as a result of the crisis, the women are stopping at nothing for the return of peace.
In 2017, brave the odds. The intention of that Tukune was to reconcile the population, to promote peace.
The Silver Jubilee celebration, a blend of color and symbolisms, was interspersed with the display of some traditional dishes and the recognition of one of its founding members.
The Catholic Men Association, CMA, has donated 122 mattresses to Collège Vôtre, a Catholic institution in Yaoundé. The donation was made by a team led by the association's president, Oke Johnson Ndo, who stated that the gifts were a fulfillment of the resolutions of their 6th National Congress and will go a long way to foster ties between the CMA and the institution. Romeo Kenyi reports.
During the just ended 6th Congress of Catholic Men Association, Collège Vôtre made available its dormitories for members. As a sign of gratitude, the new CMA executive has come thanking the institution with a largesse of 122 mattresses.
Collège Vôtre has opened its doors to us. In our first Congress in 2010, Collège Vôtre opened the doors. In 2021, Collège Vôtre opened the doors. And as men of honor, we thought each where we have to go because it's part of our responsibility as parents. They've opened the doors, we should be able to say thank you. So these mattresses, when we came, the beds were there, but there were no mattresses. Instead of renting mattresses, we thought it wise to buy these mattresses, use them, and to give them as gift to the school.
The principal of Collège Vôtre, Georges Lissome, has hailed the act of charity, promising to make good use of them. The Catholic Men Association, CMA, now count 7,000 membership nationwide with 500 members in Yaoundé.
And our beautiful story tonight is told from the equatorial rainforest in Ngoela, 220 kilometers from Abongbang, East region of Cameroon. Life in that locality revolves around the basics with no roads, electricity and other amenities. The population of the subdivision that borders the Republic of Congo live a life within what they have. Community gathering and the spirit of tolerance are salient attributes that the people of Ngoila propagate. Emmanuela Vemue lived the life for us for the 7:30 News.
Life in the countryside could be this easy. It rotates practically around the basics. There are no tarred roads, no electricity, no referral hospitals or playgrounds, yet the locals find their fuel.
Life in Ngoila is okay. There are houses here and there, unlike before.
Ngoila is one of those enclave localities of the Opanyong Division, East region of Cameroon. Community life here is a daily practice, and happiness is derived from being together. At dawn, food is made ready. Luxury doesn't exist, but there is a way of finding life worthwhile. But do not get it wrong. They too desire a good life, a more decent way of living. They dream. Animals and humans share a symbiotic relationship with values of fraternity highly upheld. Happiness resides in the things the inhabitants can afford than in those they would have wished to have, making every day a lovely day.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
Cameroon has officially been using 3 vaccines during this vaccination campaign against the coronavirus, with the latest being the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. With these 3 vaccines, that is the Sinopharm, AstraZeneca and the Johnson & Johnson available, some Cameroonians are eager to know when exactly other vaccines will arrive in the country. For more, let's join Baldwin Sama and his guest, Dr. Frida Mukumbwe at the Public Emergency Center. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Freddie Etabisong, with officially 3 available vaccines in Cameroon, Sinopharm, AstraZeneca, and just recently the Johnson & Johnson. Cameroonians, those who are yet to have themselves vaccinated, are eager to know, are there possibilities for the country having other different vaccines to get to Cameroon anytime soon to permit other Cameroonians who are yet to have themselves vaccinated get each a dose of these vaccines? Let us find out tonight from Frida Mukumbwe for the National Immunization Program. Good evening to you, Frida.
Good evening, sir.
With these 3 available vaccines in Cameroon so far, are there possibilities for the country receiving other vaccines anytime soon?
Okay, as you know, we have already received about 200,000 of vaccine of Sinopharm and 300,000 of AstraZeneca and yet 300,000 of Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And this command of vaccine depend on the consumption and also on the needs of the vaccine in Cameroon. And our target population is about 13 million of persons, and for now we have only vaccinated 300,000 of persons. So you see that we since need about 12 million of doses. And these doses will be received gradually depending on our consumption and on our needs.
We have over 300,000 doses
of the Johnson & Johnson vaccines that are already in Cameroon. Cameroonians to have themselves vaccinated, because more vaccines will arrive depending on the need, depending on the fact that more and more Cameroonians must have had themselves vaccinated already. The turnout so far is encouraging, but we are not yet there, and the National Immunization Program is still calling on Cameroonians in the 10 different regions of the country, wherever they find themselves, to get to these different vaccination centers and have each of themselves vaccinated against the coronavirus. Back to you, Freddy Etabison.
Thank you indeed, Baldwin. Women of the Église Presbyterian Camerounese of Menyeme Nkwele Parish in Mendong, Yaoundé, have organized their annual conference to thank God for achievements this year and raise funds for the construction of a new church. This was in a special service chaired by the moderator, the Reverend Pastor Jacques-Olivier Evina of the Mendong Church. Details with Alice Mbey.
The quality of a Christian woman, as related to 2 Kings in the Bible, was the theme of the week-long annual conference that has rounded off at the Église Presbyterian Camerounaise Menyeme Nkwele in the Mendong neighborhood of Yaoundé.
The Lord has answered our prayers, and we are very grateful to the Lord. To allow these women to come and pray and sing and worship the Lord.
Bible studies, special prayers and fasting were amongst the many activities that marked the retreat.
We have carried out exhibitions on works of art of each church. We have also received Bible lessons from pastors' wives, learned songs from other women, and other educative lessons that can edify a woman.
The ceremony was also an occasion to give thanks to God for projects executed so far as the Christians raise funds for the construction of a new church.
Onto this obituary, the remains of former Minister Jacqueline Kungabesike have been laid to rest in Bafia, Mbam and Inubu division of the Central Region. The head of state was represented at the burial ceremony by Nasiri Paul Beya, governor of the Central Region, who decorated her posthumously with the Medal of Grand Cordon of Cameroon Merit. Ebenezer Kanga attended the burial ceremony and brought back the full report.
The burial ceremony of former Minister Jacqueline Kung Abesike began with the arrival of the representative of the head of state, Nasri Paul Beya, governor of the Central Region, at the Bafia ceremonial ground. This was followed by a requiem service officiated by a college of pastors. Then came testimonies made among others by an elite of Bafia, the representatives of the National Bureau of WCPDM and the Secretary General of the Central Committee of the CPDM, the General Coordinator of SERAC, a representative of the Ministry of Land Tenure, Service and State Property, and her children. On behalf of the head of state, Nasri Paul Beya decorated her posthumously with the Medal of Grand Cordon of Cameroon Merit, while the senior divisional officer from BAM and Inubu read the condolence message of the head of state.
There are so many examples of what she was able to achieve, and we believe that this should be not only preserved, but this should serve as a living example of what Cameroonian women should do.
All her life was for people, so that's why it's hard. It's hard to accept the fact that this kind of people is passed away.
Before becoming minister, Jacqueline Kung Abesike was the first woman to be appointed Secretary General of a ministry. She died on the 2nd of June 2021 in Yaoundé at 69 years.
We now talk sports to announce that a delegation from the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, today began a 3-day walking visit to Cameroon to inspect the Yaoundé Conference Center, which is going to host the draw ceremony of the 2021 AFCON in August this year. The delegation led by Antonetta Santagata expressed satisfaction today on day one of their visit with the state of readiness of the conference center ahead of the draw ceremony. Details with Baldwin Summer.
A book and a pen in hand each with a close look at the hall to host the draw ceremony. of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, the delegation from the World Football Governing Body FIFA, led by Antonetta Santagata as senior events manager, while visiting the main hall for the ceremony fit to host 1,500 persons, it was revealed that due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, just 800 guests will have access into this hall. The FIFA delegation asked questions on seating and camera positions in the hall, as CRTV's TV technical director clearly explains how the different cameras and the crane will be positioned in the hall. Interpretation will be key, with these boxes made available for interpretation in English, French, Arabic and Portuguese. The delegation equally visited the different VIP halls to be used by key state personalities, insisting on the number of persons to be allowed into each of these halls. The mix and media zones were equally visited and recommendations given, same as the meeting halls.
I'm very, very happy what I have seen. This is a really fantastic venue. I'm very happy to have a great support. Thank you also to the tournament director and all his commissions, and I'm sure it will be a great draw here.
Camtel reassured the delegation of measures put in place for high and quality internet connection before, during and after the draw ceremony.
Outdoor sports news. 2 Cameroonian boxers take to the ring tomorrow, Monday, July 26 at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Albert Menge Aisi confronts Irish boxer Aidan Walsh at the 8th final of the 69-kilogram category, while Sei Ntenge makes his first outing against the Democratic Republic of Congo's David Chama. Gilbert Ongene in the foreign report presents the stakes of the boxing fights and other athletes of Team Cameroon who are scheduled to compete this week.
After his brilliant qualification for the 8th final Saturday, Cameroonian boxer Albert Menge Aisi takes to the boxing ring again this Monday, July 26, to knock gloves with Irish boxer Aidan Walsh in the 69-kilogram world heavyweight category. Up for grabs at Monday's fight is a place at the quarterfinal. Another Cameroonian boxer, Sei Chenge, will be making his first outing at the Tokyo Games this Monday as he challenges the Democratic Republic of Congo's David Chama. Later on Wednesday at 3:32 a.m. Cameroon time, Sofina Are-Ntui takes to the tatami for her judo fight against South Korean opponent Kim Seong-yeon. Boxing will be on the menu again on Thursday, July 29, when Maxime Yednong Jeouyu mounts the boxing ring for his 8th final fight against Russian boxer Beryasov Ivan. 3 Cameroonian athletes will be competing on Friday, July 30, in judo and swimming. Judoka Vanessa Mbala Atangana faces her Turkish opponent Said K at 3:54 a.m. Cameroon time. 2 Cameroonian swimmers, Milanese Nora Elizabeth and Charlie Ehome Epo, will also be on in the women's single and men's single swimming competition at the Tokyo Aquatic Center competition pool.
That report by Gilbert Ongene wraps our newscast tonight. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow you'll be in the company of Gladys Tata. As for me, we shall be on again together next weekend. Good night.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives.